Hey guys, so this is my first video for my YouTube channel. Today is going to be about how to make money with a clothing brand fast and with less than $1,000. I do want to mention that this will be catered more towards streetwear than other types of clothing brands, but it can still be helpful if you have any type of e-commerce brand, but it is more geared towards streetwear. So the first step to having a clothing brand is to choose a good name. A good name to me is not too long, not too trendy, easy to pronounce, easy to remember, and available. By available, I mean the domain is available, the Instagram handle is available, any type of social media website type of thing is available, and obviously available legally, like LLC, trademark, etc. After you find a good name, you have to choose a good logo. I recommend having a black logo on a white background and just keeping it simple. I wouldn't worry about an icon or a submark. If you want to make the logo yourself, I would recommend using a font website, which I can make a separate video on that sometime. Something I noticed with a lot of new brands is they try to be super creative and then they end up not getting any sales and then they're depressed. So I would recommend just not trying to be too creative. You can do that later on, but right now we are trying to make money, so just do what sells. So I recommend following trends. Some examples are flares, hoodies, beanies, puff print. Anything you see getting a lot of sales in other brands, that's what I would recommend you do when you're starting out. When you are choosing your products, I would recommend doing pieces. And what I mean by pieces is not just a basic item that you buy blank and print on. That used to work, but I feel like in the current streetwear market, it doesn't work as well because pretty much everyone is doing pieces, so you kind of need pieces to survive. So what you're going to have to do is what we call cut and sew. Get pieces made in China, Pakistan, overseas basically, that you won't find anywhere else in like a store or just a blank wholesaler. So here's an example of what I mean. The hoodie on the left is a no-go. The one on the right is a good example of a piece. I know I said I wouldn't recommend doing black and white, but you see that the hoodie on the right isn't just a basic black hoodie with some regular screen print. It has puff print, it doesn't have a pocket, it doesn't have a drawstring, so it is still a piece. But again, if you do want to stand out, I would recommend doing more bright colors than just black or white. But black always does well, so you could always have black in there too, just have some other colors as well. Okay, so this is a really big one. I see a lot of new brand owners always in other people's comments, DMs, asking people to just tell them their manufacturer. I wouldn't recommend doing that, and usually these people won't tell you their manufacturer. Sometimes they may sell a manufacturer list that you have to buy, but again, you don't even know if those people on the list are even the people they actually used for their brand personally. So what I would recommend doing is going on Alibaba and doing this thing called an RFQ, which means request for quotation. The next step would be to get samples of your pieces. So usually the process would be send the payment to the manufacturer. Usually they want you to send it through something like Western Union or Remitly because they're probably in another country and they don't have things we have like PayPal, Cash App, Zelle. So just be aware of that, and then they'll send you your samples and then you can make sure your samples are good, and if they are, then you can proceed on with the bulk order. I always tell people nowadays you don't really need a professional photo shoot with like a studio to really sell your pieces. I recommend just having a good phone with a camera, like an iPhone, and then just using the ground to take pictures. Here's a picture of the ground I'm talking about. I feel like this is kind of the ground that's in right now. The turf is kind of outdated. Just a white background is kind of plain. So this is kind of the ground that a lot of clothing brand owners are currently using. Here's some ideas of different shots you can get for your products. I just try to get as many shots as possible in different variations. So these are usually just the shots that I get personally. And I also offer a service where I can take pictures of your clothes if you send them to me. So my website will be in the description. After you take pictures, I would do 1 week of pre-launch marketing, specifically on social media, mainly Instagram and maybe TikTok. But any more than a week, I feel like it's too much. The excitement for your brand may die down, and then anything less than a week isn't really sufficient enough to build up enough hype. So I think exactly a week is perfect. So here are some marketing methods that I personally use. This one is called the OPA method, which stands for other people's audience. This is one of my top ones, but basically it's where you find those niche pages and do promos on them. So where I find accounts is the explore page. You can go to a style influencers page and then go to their tag post. That's another way, but those are the two main ways that I find these pages, and then you just DM them, ask them what their rates are for promo. Usually they're not too expensive. I usually aim for accounts with around 50 to 200K, and usually they charge around $25 to $75 a post, which is not bad. I've gotten a lot of followers and even sales from it, so this is one of my favorite methods. Another method is boosted posts. I'm sure you've seen the blue button under your post on Instagram where you can sponsor it basically. When I do that, I go for more profile visits, men and women 18 to 26, United States, and then the interests, I put streetwear, and then a lot of times I'll put like a public figure or a music artist, like a rapper, anyone who may be interested in my clothes, who they might listen to, I will put them. So for example, I might put Lil Baby or something, because Lil Baby's listeners are the type of people that might wear my product. Another way a lot of brands use to get their brand out there is actual Facebook ads, which is different than boosted posts, because you can do way more with it. You can test different things. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but my friend Dilo does. So if you are interested in having ad services for your brand, you can definitely message him on Instagram, and that's his Instagram right there on the screen. Regardless of what other type of marketing you do, you definitely need to have organic content. So just regular content like pictures, reels, stories, maybe even a giveaway, but just ways that your followers can engage with your brand organically. When people come to your social media, I would recommend directing them somewhere. Your website will probably be closed in this pre-launch marketing phase, but you can still have a link tree in your bio that can have them opt into email or SMS marketing. For email, I use the app called One on Shopify, and then for SMS, I use this app called Postscript. And I think before I launched my new brand, I had like 200 text subscribers and 300 email subscribers, so I could send them a direct message via email or text and not just have to worry about them seeing my post. Again, you're going to do all of these marketing methods every day for exactly 1 week. When you're ready to launch, you will open up your website, and then I would send out a mass SMS and mass email, and then also post on social media to let your followers know that you are live and they can shop the site. So just some tips. Like I mentioned before, I would get a link tree with your website and SMS opt-in and any other links like TikTok or other social medias. If your clothes suck, then it will be hard to get sales even with good marketing, and I do see this a lot with brands that, you know, they think they just don't have the right marketing technique, so they're spending all this money trying to get more sales by doing more marketing when really they just need to go and pick a different product. Move as fast as possible. You should be up and running in a month. So I think like Caleb Perilla says, success loves speed. So the faster you can learn things and implement them, the faster you'll be successful. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I would just recommend doing it and doing it quickly. Also, don't overthink things. I think a lot of brand owners fall into this where they want to have the perfect design, the perfect product, the perfect website, the perfect marketing strategies, but honestly, things will never be perfect. So I think you should just go for it and then evolve as you move on. So those are all the tips that I have. I try to make this video fairly short, just because I know you probably don't want to watch like a 30-minute video, but I could honestly make a separate video on each of these slides and go really into depth on specific topics, which I probably will do in the future. I will link my website down in the description. I really don't have too much on there right now. I think I have a guide, I have the picture service, I have consultation call. I do not do mentorships, but I do consultations. So if you want to schedule one, I would love to see your brand personally and help you grow your brand. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys today. If this helped you out, please like and subscribe because I will be recording a lot of new content and going deeper into everything I talked about today.